A massive part of RuneScape history has been missing for years, deleted at Jagex's request, but middle schoolers and their school projects may be to thank for saving it. In today's video, we'll discuss and even look at RuneScape's deleted websites, high scores, merchandise, and some of the coolest lost pieces of history I've ever seen. Now, before we dive into RuneScape's archives, I need to talk about the Wayback Machine. It's a website I've used literally countless times in my videos. It's basically a constantly growing archive of the internet. You can go back in time to see websites exactly how they looked on the day they were archived. However, not every website is available. Most RuneScape fan sites and even the old Jagex website are available for viewing, but RuneScape.com isn't. This typically means whoever owns the website has asked the Internet Archive to remove their website from the Wayback Machine. But why? With the Wayback Machine being one of the biggest internet archival services available, that would mean more or less the history of RuneScape's website is gone. So I decided to do some digging. Why would Jagex remove RuneScape from the archive, and was there a way I could still access it? Everyone seems to have a different theory as to why RuneScape isn't available anymore, but the biggest one I see consistently popping up is that it's for account security reasons. I honestly couldn't find any official Jagex comment saying this was the case, plus I'm not exactly sure how it could be a security risk. There's thousands of archives for bank and credit card websites on the Wayback Machine, and they've seemingly never had an issue. The data on those sites is much more sensitive than anything on RuneScape's website. Then again, some of the people watching this video probably have more real money invested in their RuneScape account than they have in their bank account. After a few hours of looking, I hit a dead end. I didn't want to release a video that could potentially put people and their accounts at risk. So I did something I should have done from the start. Asked Jagex why the website was removed. A few days after asking, a Jagex moderator got back to me. They had asked around the office and told me it was a disabled robots.txt, so we couldn't get crawled by less than legit people. The Wayback Machine was just collateral. Now, what does that even mean? Essentially, the way that the Wayback Machine works is through a process called crawling and scraping. They have a bot that crawls the web looking at websites and discovering new links. It'll crawl those new links looking for even more links. The links can then be scraped, meaning it more or less downloads a perfect copy of that page. With enough links and pages, you can download a near complete working version of any website. So the bot every once in a while will go through the process and upload the scraped website to their database. From there, you can access it on the Wayback Machine. As the Jagex employee said, malicious users were crawling the RuneScape website. So a web developer at Jagex disabled crawling by turning it off in something called the robots.txt file, something that a lot of modern websites have. So unfortunately, the RuneScape website was removed from the Wayback Machine, as when the Wayback Machine detects crawling is disabled on a website, then it obviously can't crawl it anymore. They also assume whoever owns it doesn't want old crawls publicly available and removes those as well. So now what? I've lost a couple hours and I'm still no closer to finding these archive pages. That was until I came across a GitHub user with a genius idea. Jagex owns multiple domains that will send you to RuneScape.com. For example, you can type in RuneScape.org into your web browser and it will redirect you to the RuneScape homepage. For some reason, a lot of these URLs work on the Wayback Machine, but only for 2003 and 2005. That is, until it tries to redirect you to the RuneScape.com website. For just one brief second, you can see the old website. So we know it's there, but we can't actually look at it. Luckily for us, the GitHub user I mentioned earlier used a special technique to rip the websites and make them viewable again. So here is our first archive, the 2003 website, when there was about 15,000 people online playing. Speaking of playing the game, if we press play game, you are met with this screen. This is long before we had the screen of Tim and Crunchy, the skeleton and the knight. Instead, we have random knight and random wizard. You can actually look at the front page of the high scores. Unfortunately, we don't know the exact date, and we can't click on any of these or else the webpage will error out. I recognize the old knight. This name looks familiar, but I don't really remember it. But then again, it is just 3 letters. There's customer support. Oddly enough, the customer support page was saved. I love the art on all these pages. For technical support, it's like this old looking computer with cockroaches climbing on the screen. Feedback looks like, I don't know, the hand of God helping out a player. This is how many quests we had in 2003. Unfortunately, again, I can't click on any of these or they'll break. Trading, shops, empty, banks. Unfortunately, what would probably be the most interesting sections, the skill guides, are broken. That's really all there is for 2003. Here we are, the 2005 RuneScape homepage. There is just so much here, and a lot of this actually works. We are up a lot from 2003, which was, I believe, around 15,000 people online, up to 77,000. Let's see here. If I press play game, there we go. Now we have Tim and Crunchy. I think this is Crunchy and that's Tim. I don't really remember. There's screenshots. This is cool. It's just really weird to see the skills menu like this with just so much missing. I really wish old school had this lesser demon model. I really do miss that. This is back when you had to actually go to the options page to turn your run on and off. This is definitely one of my favorite early RuneScape screenshots. I'd like you to look at the water rune. Look at how thin and weird it looks. The bucket looks strange as well. And the plate body actually, I believe it has gloves attached to it. I believe the first time I saw these in a video, I called them long sleeves. Again, look at the runes. I don't really know what this is. I think it's a crossbow. This is in the wilderness somewhere. I don't really know where it is. There's just a random bear and a ghost. The giant rat is blue. That's awesome. Oh, you can actually still get this map in old school somewhere. It's the beginner's map. This is the old goblin plate mail. Oh, you can still see when Varrock looked different, how the wall is brown. This is when people would actually buy and sell things in Varrock Square. This is where all the Chaos Druids are in old school. The old zombies. That is, I think, the Rock Golem random event. This seems to be the last of the screenshots back when the prayer book was pretty small. Next up, we have benefits for members. This page, I like this page a lot. Unfortunately, a lot of the images are broken and it's kind of hard to read because of just the background they used. But it's like I don't like this. Membership costs only $5 per month. I miss that. This bestiary is probably my favorite part of this website. If you ever had the RuneScape handbook back in the day, it's basically the same thing, but in like web format with GIFs. For the black dragon, instead of just saying its weight, it says to look at the red dragon. The council tried to weigh one, but she just wouldn't have it. We decided not to pursue the matter. That is awesome. The skeleton, the height depends on previous wearer. The weight, 100 pounds, more for people who are big boned. Minigames, it's all oh man, that's scary. Okay, here we go. There's the old knight. This time you can see Zezima. Lil Yuffie, I remember that name. Library of Varrock. This is all like lore and stuff like that. Most of these are here. Tales from the Tavern. These look like, I think they're fan submitted stories. Again, if we didn't have these website backups, I don't think we'd ever see these. So this is what I like. I think we should still have this on the login page today. Just this little flashing bar above the RuneScape login. Extra files. I really hope they're here. Okay, yeah, these are cool. You can see some pretty old stuff here. I'm sure a lot of you will remember this. I figure most of you who played back then or, you know, around 2006, 2007 probably remember this one. This one definitely I think is the most popular just because this art is still used today for old school. I think that is unfortunately all we have for 2005. So 2003 and 2005 are cool, but chances are a lot of you watching this video didn't even play then. I knew there had to be more archives out there. Little did I know it was right in front of me this entire time. On the Wayback Machine's homepage, they have an ad for their subscription service, Archivet. It's like an easier yet more advanced version of the Wayback Machine. You tell Archivet what sites you want to archive, how often to make backups of that site, all while really not having to do anything except pay them a couple dollars. It's meant to allow people to do things like have a full history of their website throughout the years, or make a collection of websites. I figured it was a long shot, but I typed in RuneScape.com, and 5 different organizations have public archives that include the RuneScape website. And for some reason, they're all schools. After digging into each school's page, I found that Archivet runs a school program across the United States where students can pick their favorite websites and archive them for future generations. It was a program made in part with the Library of Congress, and the page says it's been running for 7 years. But it looks like the program might be discontinued because there hasn't been any new archives from the program since 2014. Looking at the backups themselves, there's actually a lot of them. Most of them don't work anymore, but it's still a major step. It's kind of weird to think that a major part of RuneScape's history would be lost without all these random school projects. Here is all the archives on the Archivet page. There are quite a few of them, and you'll see that I have already looked at a decent amount of them, but a lot of them are broken as well, so we will see what we can find. The only one we can find that is actually from 2008 on this website is this one, and it's pretty much broken. 2009, this is pretty cool. Upgrade your account. Okay, this is awesome. I just can't help but laugh because this looks like a little glitch here, and it just makes Bandos look really tall. That is one thing that I think Jagex has kept pretty consistent with a lot of their marketing, is just tossing players in the most random gear ever as to not give anyone hints at what you're actually supposed to bring to a boss. Account management, okay, you can actually look at some of this. There's some manuals. These actually all still seem to work. Player submissions. Postbag from the hedge. I remember these. I don't know if they load. They do. I could be wrong, but maybe this is all backed up somewhere. But I feel like a lot of this art is something that we would probably never see again without some of these backups. There's the letters from the gods. There's content polls, player galleries. This is when Jagex would actually upload player-made art to the website. This is such a nostalgic picture for me. You can't get it any better quality on this website, but I'm sure many of you remember this one. Wallpapers. We will come back to these because these are cool. I'm sure a lot of you remember these wallpapers, especially this Barrows Brothers one. That was my wallpaper for a while. Now this is one I'd like to show. I remember when Jagex started doing these, they actually made like RuneScape trading cards that you could print out. I could be wrong, but I swear I remember they sold some in the store too that you didn't have to print. Development diaries. There's actually a lot of stuff here. Again, I doubt we'd see any of this anywhere today. Pretty much all the development diaries I'm clicking on seem to work. This, I actually remember this. I think if I click the arrow, it'll break. Yep, it does. But I remember seeing this as the home screen for like the longest time. Oh, wow. Okay, this is when they introduced dungeoneering. Yeah, here's what the website looked like back then. This was a weird time for the website. I barely remember it looking like this, but I do remember when it did. The RuneScape game bar. I actually remember having this. There's RuneScape remixes. Okay, wow, this is actually really cool. Here's a ton more wallpapers for anyone that wants those. It looks like they took a scan of everyone that signed their name at RuneFest. Wilderness Guardians, I recognize that clan. That's pretty awesome. I kind of wish they would do that every year. It looks like this is about when they started removing some of the lore-based stuff. The wilderness is back. Now this was an iconic time. Okay, so I pressed this button and everything is now in Spanish. This is, okay, perfect. This is exactly what I wanted to show you. Please let this work. I don't think it will. Okay, so unfortunately the merch store is pretty broken. You can only see the names of things, but you can see a couple of the t-shirts. So I think this is like a Gothics logo, RuneScape logo. Level, I can't read what's behind that. I can't open the picture in the new window either. It looks like level 99 party something. There's the I brought the wilderness back shirt. So like if you voted to bring back the wilderness, the RuneScape game bar again. I don't know why they were trying to market the game bar so hard. And here we are back at the modern site. It looks a little broken still, but really there's not much that has changed from the current version of the site and this archive. So I really think that's about it for this archive. Before I wrap things up, if you think these websites are nostalgic, you should check out a video I made about the RuneScape time machine. It actually allows you to re-experience old RuneScape moments. You can even kinda meet Zezima in it. If that sounds interesting to you, that video should be on screen right now. I will see you in the next one.